Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to template driven form, where we will see how we can use ngModelGroup in order to combine multiple input fields into a category. Okay, so by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is ngModelGroup, why do we use it, what are the benefits of using it, and how we will get the data when we are using the model group. Okay, but before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use ngModelGroup. But prior to that, you should know what is template driven form, how to create the form, what are the input fields, and other things that we have learned so far. Okay, because these are in sequential manner. And for the sequential content, what you can do, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box, where you will find more than 3000 plus free resources, which is available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can go through it and learn the concepts. Okay, alright, so now I think we are good to start with the session. Here you can see currently I am in app.component.html file, where we have noted down the first heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit, and then we have second heading that tells us the topic, and today's topic is template driven form in Angular for ngModelGroup. Okay, so let's start with the definition itself. What is ngModelGroup? So ngModelGroup will help us to categorize the correlated field or similar kind of fields into one category. For example, if you are submitting one form, there are multiple information, right? Few information is related to your personal detail, few information is related to the address detail, few are related to academic details, right? So these are the categories. Now we have few fields like PIN number, city, state, country. So these are all input data that comes under a address category, right? Likewise, if we have name, DOB, date of birth, mobile number, email, so these are some personal or contact details we can say, right? Then we have another information like 10th marks, 12th marks, college graduation mark, post graduation mark. So these are all comes under a qualification category, right? So when you are working with a large form where you have multiple fields and you want to build a correlation between some of the similar fields, then in that case we will go with a ngModelGroup. Okay, now instead of designing the complete long form, just to make the things easier, what we will do, we will create a very simple and small form. There we will store some information related to address fields, and then we will categorize it with the help of ngModelGroup. Okay, so this is our plan for this session. But as we know that we are going to utilize the form, so firstly we should add the prerequisite thing. And here for this ng form, what we will do, we will import the module that is forms module. Okay, so let's go to app.component.ts file. In this file import section, we will write here forms module and press enter. So once you press enter, it will add this on line number 2. That means forms module is successfully imported. Now we are good to use it in our program. Okay, fine. Now let's go to app.component.html file, where we have these headings, and after this heading we will add one horizontal row that will help us to separate out this heading with the actual form. Now in between these horizontals row, what we will do, we will define our form. So let's go one by one. So firstly I'll define the form here. We will assign some template reference variable to this form. So let's say hash my form. Okay, and we will assign it with ng form. Next we will add one button here. Why? Like we will be submitting and calling one function, so let's add the logic for that. So ng submit, and here I will call it as a function submit form. It depends on your requirement, like if you want to change the name of the method, that is also fine. And from here we will submit the data. Currently it is throwing error for this because we haven't declared this submit form method in our app component file. That is why it is highlighting it as red. But the moment when you declare it, it will not show any kind of error after that. Okay, similarly it would have thrown the error for this also, but we have already imported the ng for ng form. We have already imported the forms module. That is why like we are not, it is not showing any error as of now. Okay, now next what we will do, we will categorize it into one particular genre, right? So let's add the div here. This div will help us to allow the category. So here I will write ngModelGroup. So what this ngModelGroup will do, it will categorize these things into one thing, and that is address, because I'm going to use the address related detail. So I will categorize it as address. Now inside this what we will do, we will define all the required things. Like firstly I'll add the label, and in label I will write, let's say, city. Okay, so this is city. Then for the city we will add one input field. So let's add the input field, and in this input field we will define all the required things like its type and everything, right? So simply go ahead and write here type as text. Then we will write here name. In name we will write here city, right? Then we will write here ngModel. Okay, after that we will write here required. Okay, so these are some basic things that we can store into this input field. Like we have add the specific detail for these input field. Now you can save it. So this is one thing. Now the second thing is I will add one field for the pin code, let's say, because pin code is also a correlated thing. So we will write here label first. In label we will write pin code. Okay, now after this what we will do, we will add here the input field, and in this input field we will define the required things like type and name and everything, right? So I'll write here type would be text. Then we will add here name. In name we will write here pin code. Then we will add the ngModel and also the required, because we want to make sure that it is a required field. Perfect. So this field is also ready. So overall what we did, like we created one form where we have added two correlated field, and we have categorized it with the help of ngModelGroup. Now we will see the benefit of this ngModelGroup. And to submit this form we will add one button, and you can keep it after the div. Like just after the div we will add one button here. So maybe we can write directly like button, and here I will write it as submit. Okay, maybe we can write it in next line, and after this in button area we will mention here the type, and type would be submit. Then we will assign here disabled. Why disabled? Because I want to make sure that if there is any error in the form, in that case it should not show any submission, but it should not allow user to submit the things. Okay, fine. So HTML wise we are good. Now I think we are good to go and define the method, because here it is showing error. So it's time to define this thing also. So for that we will go to app.component.ts file. Here we will simply write the submit form method. Okay, and in this submit form we will get the data. So you can write it form type as any, and then we will write opening closing curly braces. Inside this I can simply write console.log and form.value. So what it will do, it will just show us the value. Perfect. So this thing is ready. We have added the semicolon. Now let's run the application and see how it is categorizing the things. So ngserve, but remember one thing, for all fields there should be a name. Okay, because if name is not there it won't work properly. So ngserve -- open. Just wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output in the browser screen. There we will verify the output. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, it is ready. Browser is open. Now you can see we have one Angular course by Tech Sharmit as main heading, then template driven form in Angular, ngModelGroup. We have one input field. I think we have added BR text somewhere or not. Okay, it's outside of div, that's why it is coming like this. So if you want, you can keep it inside the, but let's do it like this only. Okay, fine. So now you can see if city is empty, it is not allowing us to submit it. So let's say write city as ABC, pin code as 123. Okay, now it is enabled. Now right click on inspect, go to console, and the moment when I submit this form, you will see that one address thing is added. If you expand it, you will find that in address we have this city and state. So basically what it did, it simply created one category, that is address, and inside that address we have two fields, that is city and pin code. So overall we can say it created a object for our each category. I'm using this only for this thing, but if you have added any other information, so it will add category for each. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.